Fatigue makes cowards of us all, Rube.
That's true. I think that's a good point that you just brought up.
That was how Jalen Hurts told us about the heat today on day 5 of training camp. It was a hot one. Hot day in pads. It felt like football.
It was hot, but don't you think people overreacted a little bit? I mean, it was. I don't know how many people came out. Oh, it's a hot one today. Like, okay, like it's hot. It's summer. I mean, let's just. I don't know. It's not helping.
Rube is irritated today.
I mean, I don't see the need to keep reminding each other that it's hot. Like, I didn't think it was. I mean, it was hot, but I don't think it was like oppressively hot. I don't know. It wasn't cold.
It was not cold. I will say that much. It was not cold.
I just don't think it was as bad. It wasn't. I mean, they moved practice up an hour, so started at 9 instead of 10. I think that helped a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good sign that it was hot because they don't normally do that.
Yeah. Okay. No, they don't. And I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't hot. I'm just saying, like, don't just keep repeating that. It doesn't help. How many people came up to you and said, it's really hot today, Dave?
I was generally unbothered by it, but it seems like it got to you a little bit.
Maybe just a
little. Maybe more than the heat itself.
Definitely.
This is the Eagle Eye Podcast brought to you by Nissan. He's Reuben Frank. I'm Dave Zangaro. We're nice and cool now inside in the AC. They moved up practice today from 10 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And it's a good thing they did because by the end of practice, it was significantly hotter. And it was a long practice too.
It was
almost pushing 2 hours. I think it lasted an hour or 54 minutes. So the longest practice of the summer, the first fully padded practice of the summer in the hottest weather of the summer. So it was a grind today. But we have a lot of observations to get to in this. We talked to Vic Fangio before practice, a bunch of players after. So we'll give you some of that. And after practice, of course, is when Jalen Hurts dropped that line, which we were trying to trace the origin. Tom Feiner was trying to trace it for us. General Patton, apparently, once maybe said it, maybe Vince Lombardi. I'm sure Nick Saban at one point dropped that.
And I think it's most likely Jalen got it from Nick and not Vince Lombardi or General Patton.
You never know, though.
Well, you never know.
You never know. All right, you want to get into some observations today? Let's start with...
It was hot.
Yeah, that's actually going to be the next half hour if you're up for it. We'll just talk about how hot it was. We'll talk about the injuries because some significant injury updates in today's practice or before today's practice.
Right.
Zach Bond, back contusion, Nolan Smith, concussion. Both didn't practice on Tuesday. I'd imagine they're going to miss some time.
Yeah. I mean, concussion, he's going to miss some time. Back contusion, we don't know quite how serious it is, but there's no reason to push it with him either. Those guys are going to be fine. And look, it's early. They'll be back. It's not going to affect them. And it gives some of the young guys some good opportunities to get some reps. And we'll get into that.
Yeah, it was interesting. On Monday, I jotted down that Nolan Smith and Zach Bond, it seemed like they weren't taking a bunch of reps in the team periods. But I thought, I don't know, maybe they're giving these guys a little veteran break. Turns out they weren't. It was just the injuries for both of those guys. So Zach Bond, back contusion, Nolan Smith, concussion, Devontae Smith, back tightness, missed his second day, Danny Gray, finger, and Andrew Makuba, shoulder. Those two collided on Saturday. They both missed their second days. The limited participants, Jahad Campbell with that shoulder, Jalen Carter.
I still question that limited status.
Yeah, he doesn't look. I mean, in fact, Jahad Campbell today took some extra reps at linebacker because they're kind of short at the position. So he was out there with the third team when they needed an extra body. So he's beyond limited. He's
unlimited.
Yeah, it seems that way. Jalen Carter, shoulder, Cam Jurgens back, and Smile Mondin, illness.
Yeah, so they're down a bunch of linebackers.
Yeah, although Mondin did some teamwork today. So maybe they just listed him as limited because you don't really know how he's going to hold up with that illness. But you mentioned that, a lot of these guys ended up with some extra reps. That's the thing right now. You have some key players. And the nice thing here is they're injuries, but it doesn't seem like anything. You look around the league and you see some really significant injuries. We'll knock on wood here. These don't seem like that. So it's a way for some younger players to get some important reps.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The one that you're a little concerned with is Makuba, just because he's a rookie and these are valuable reps. This is valuable time for him. We don't know how long he'll be out, but he needs this time. Sidney Brown's going to gap them if Makuba's out for much longer.
Yeah, you're probably right, and that's the concern. Vic Fangio, we'll get into a lot of what he said, but he's not shy about telling you these on-field reps really matter, and if you're going to miss time, it's going to hurt you. We saw that last year with Cooper DeJean, and think about how good Cooper DeJean was. Like, we all knew he was going to be good, I think, and then he got behind. Now he missed more time than Makuba, obviously.
You would think, yeah.
You would think, but it took him a long time to catch up, and he didn't get inserted into the lineup until they came off that bye week. So, yeah, it's not ideal.
It's not.
Terrace Marshall got hurt during practice. It looked like a lower body leg injury from my vantage point, kind of hobbled in to the tent and then eventually went inside. So we'll find out more about that on Thursday.
Looked like he was grabbing his left leg, walking in. It didn't seem super. You never know. But, I mean, he was walking under his own power. And but, yeah, it looked like he was kind of he would take a few steps and grab at his left leg. Mm-hmm. Don't know if it was knee or whatever, but yeah, hopefully that's not serious.
He's someone who probably can't afford to miss much time. I mean, he had a really good day one of training camp, and ever since then it's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mentioned to you Jason Kelce. We saw Jason Kelce, but also Rodney McLeod and Brandon Brooks were at practice today.
Yeah, some talent right there. I feel bad I missed Rodney. I didn't see him. Mm-hmm. Such a great guy.
Yeah,
love Rodney.
All three of those guys.
All three great guys. Yeah.
I did catch up with Rodney. I saw him after he was going to get some Ritas after practice. Good move on a day like today. It was hot out there.
Mike Mamula was there too. Some former players. Mm-hmm. Sean Landetta was there.
Okay.
I asked Sean how many Hall of Famers he's played with, and I was shocked he didn't know immediately. That's a really good question, Reuben. I'm going to go home and look that up. It's got to be quite a few.
I would think it's a lot, right? Gosh,
like
how long
15,
did he play?
He played like 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to look that up.
See if you come up with the same number as him.
Yeah. That might find its way into 10 observations this week.
I like that. I was talking to Rodney after practice, and we were joking about the heat because he had the water ice. I thought it was appropriate. It's one of those. It's a fun day for a former player to not have to practice.
That's true.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, this is one of those days you feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Depth chart.
Yeah,
Tyler Steen. We're going to do this every day.
Doing it
every day. Day 5 in there with the first team. After practice, Jeff Stoutland said he thought it was a really good day for Tyler Steen. And anecdotally, that kind of shows to me, like, I didn't notice quite as many leaky moments with Steen today.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I really thought that by now we would see mixing it up at right guard with the reps, but it's been all Tyler Steen.
And it could speak to they just don't think they have a Mekhi Becton this year.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have that guy that's going to be significantly better, then it probably makes sense to just give all the reps to the guy you have in there and really get him ready as much as you can.
Yeah, and I think if you convinced he's going to be the starter, there's no reason to start. I mean, he needs the work. Mm-hmm. He needs the work more than Matt Pryor needs to get first team reps. So, yeah. Or Kenyon Green or whoever.
Yeah, well, we should mention again, this is second day. Matt Pryor and Darian Kennard kept flipping back and forth between guard and tackle. So both of those guys got second team right guard reps. So perhaps, like, if it isn't going to be Steen, maybe it's one of those two.
Yeah.
Anaya Smith and Johnny Wilson, more first team reps without Devontae Smith. Still haven't noticed a huge output from them in team drills. We'll get to Anaya Smith again. Had a nice showing in one-on-ones, but I don't know, I'd like to see more from those guys in team drills. But this is a weird day because it was a lot of red zone, and the defense, in my estimation, really dominated.
Yeah, I think it was hard for the offense to really do much of anything. They looked it seemed like the heat and just fatigue from the first week of camp or however many days it's been got to the offense a lot more than the defense.
Yeah, it was just sloppy. There were some pre-snap penalties and then some bad snaps from Brett Toth in year 27 of this project of making him a center. Yeah, it was just, not the cleanest day. A lot of good coverage down the field. It was a lot of like quarterbacks scanning the field. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Really a second day in a row of that.
I thought the defense was terrific today.
Mm-hmm. And there's always this give and take where you don't really know what to make of something like that. Like,
Sure.
is the defense looking that good, or is the offense sloppy and that's playing it? Like, you never really know. Even when we're talking about Tyler Steen and Moro Ujima going back, and like, Moro's been great. How much of that is Moro being good versus Steen struggling? It's always kind of give and take. You don't really know.
We were watching practice with John Ritchie for a little bit, and he said that it was his experience that the first day of pads, the defense is always ahead of the offense, just because it's harder for offensive players to kind of get used to the pads than it is for defensive players. So maybe there's something to that, but they did seem, I don't want to say lethargic, but they did seem a step slow.
No, I think that's definitely the case. And when you're working red zone, there's less margin for error as an offense. The field obviously condenses some tighter windows, and let's be honest, Vic's defense is so good passing off zones. Even if they're backups in there, it makes it really tough.
Yeah.
We mentioned the offensive depth chart stuff, defensive depth chart. Keely Ringo was out there to start the day. The first day we've seen Keely out there to start since day one. That was notable. And Quinyon Mitchell again playing both sides of the field. They're very clearly getting him ready to travel this year if they want to. Cooper DeJean in the base package as a safety. Then Sidney Brown pretty much got all the reps next to Reed Blankenship when they went to nickel. Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
I think Sidney looks pretty good.
He does. He hasn't made like any like splash plays,
right?
But I haven't written his name down one way or the other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, he looks confident. He looks fluid. I think he looks. It's like the Sidney of a couple of years ago with added experience. So you get the physicality. He seems to be in the right place. So it's good to see.
Yeah, I'd like to see him like pop a little bit more.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, if the play's not there, it's not there.
Right.
So early, and he's going to get a lot more reps. So we'll see if he starts to make some plays.
Yeah.
Trot and Campbell at linebacker. Mondin got some snaps. So did Lance Dixon. They're a little light on linebackers, but Lance Dixon is a pretty serviceable down the depth chart linebacker. He looks okay. I want to get to the linebackers in a moment. I thought those guys played really well. The top defensive line, Josh Uche, Moro Ujima, Jordan Davis, Thomas Booker, Jalix Hunt. Jalen Carter still not doing team drills, but watch out for Josh Uche.
Yeah. He's probably ahead of Ojulari.
I think so.
Point. Yeah. Interesting player. I mean, he had 1 year where he was really, really good and kind of been trying to find the right situation since then. But I think he's in the lead for that next spot.
It seems that way right now. The caveat that we always put out there, it's early, but I've been impressed by him. He had a nice win today. We'll talk about.
And this is where you don't want to see Nolan Smith get hurt. Certainly a concussion, but the product of that is those guys we get a better look at those guys.
Yeah, and they got to go against, better competition. Now, Uche's had a quote unquote sack today against Darian Kennard, but he's going to get a lot more work against Lane Johnson if Nolan Smith isn't out there.
Yeah.
Let's get to the linebackers because Zach Bond and Kobe Dean not practicing. It was kind of I just noticed it today. They're watching practice standing next to each other, and you would think, man, the Eagles don't have their two linebackers from last year who played great together. They're probably really missing them. I got to tell you, Jahad Campbell and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. looked great today.
They really did. Trotter's one of the more improved players on the team, I think.
He's not going down without a fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been impressive, and you love that about him. And I mean, if you come from the Trotter family, you're going to keep fighting. You're going to keep battling. That's how he was raised. I wonder if Oren Burks regrets not. I mean, I don't know what the opportunity was, but he played so well in the postseason, and he'd be with the ones right now. But anyway, I mean, Jahad Campbell's 21 and Trot's 22, so you have, and gosh, N'Kobe's still just 24, I think. Mm-hmm. So you got some great youth there. Trotter's a guy you root for just because he's a late round pick. I think you kind of naturally root for the late round picks. And I mean, he's going to be on the team just for special teams, but maybe he can play some linebacker.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if they had to play a game right now, well, if Zach Bond was healthy, it's, that throws a wrench into it, but I think Trotter would be ahead of Campbell.
Interesting.
Right now.
Could very well be. Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be that way when we get to September 4th.
Yeah.
But right now, I really think he's ahead. He's played great today. He had, I mean, his 54 was all over my notebook. He had that play, that vertical route to Dallas Goedert.
How about that?
In the end zone, step for step with Goddard.
Yeah.
Breaks up the pass. And
that
then
was
he also
really good looking rep for him.
Great rep. I mean, that's tough duty being downfield on 88 like that. He had that play. He had a run stuff on Saquon.
Yes,
he clobbered Will Shipley again near the sideline. He just beats the hell out of his Clemson teammate, but he's everywhere.
I wonder what Will Shipley thinks of that. I thought we were boys. But yeah, he's very active, and he's just the ball finds him, and yeah.
And then Jahad Campbell has some plays today too. Dallas Goedert's like, get these linebackers away from me. There was a play in the flat today where Campbell just sniffed it out, laid a pretty heavy hit on Goddard, who went to the ground, and I think Campbell regretted how hard he hit him, and he tried to grab him and apologize as he was lifting him off the ground, but. It was first good instincts to get there, to diagnose the play. And then I like having a little edge in practice and being willing to hit someone a little bit. That's why the pads are on.
Yeah, no question. I think you don't want to see guys go over the line, but I mean, a little physicality, there's nothing wrong with it.
And that wasn't even close to the line.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Now, yesterday when he punched the football out from Tanner McKee, all right, maybe don't do that. But I like that. I like that he's an aggressive player. And it's funny right now because Trotter looks comfortable. The instincts are there. He's everywhere he needs to be. But when you're just talking about the body type and the athleticism, man, Campbell just pops.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no question about it. He's a. I mean, was it you who was saying when you see him go out on the field, he could be an edge, he could be a tight end,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If he didn't have a number on it, he just ran. Honestly, even with the number, you could tell me that guy's a safety. You could tell me he's an edge rusher, a linebacker, a tight end. Probably not a receiver, but you get the idea. He's just a special kind of athlete, and yeah, I'm super bullish on him so far.
Can't wait to see how he's used.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was just a fun day to watch those two young linebackers flying around.
I mean, it was a fun day to watch the defense in general, but yeah, those two guys really shined.
Mm-hmm. I think the highlight for the offense was that 2-point conversion. It was a situational play. They lined up for a 2-point conversion to win the game, as Nick Sirianni said it through the bullhorn, and it was just the bread and butter run to Saquon right side behind Lane Johnson, got in the end zone. And it's sometimes things aren't working, but you have Saquon Barkley and you have that offensive line.
Yeah, that solves a lot of problems. It's funny how sometimes A.J. Dillon will run a rep and you can't see the jersey number and that was a good run by Saquon. I mean, they're really similar. You look at their quads, the quad squad we call them, but and their numbers aren't too far. They kind of look the same, but it's been interesting seeing Dillon, who I think has been really good. But yeah, get the ball in Saquon's hand, and he doesn't get a ton. They take care of him.
Yeah, they do.
But he looks great.
How about that catch he made today?
And he'll make a spectacular catch. It's just the ones he drops are routine ones.
Mm-hmm.
But that was
I think that's the thinkers, right? The one in the Atlanta game. It's just a long time to think about this ball and what you're going to do after you catch it.
All you had to do was catch it in the Atlanta game, but you didn't have to do anything after that. But I mean, he had a season where he had 91 catches.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, he made a spectacular one today.
Just a one-handed, just threw up his hand. It looked like what AJ Brown does, kind of just a receiver, super grip on there.
He threw up his it's like a mitt, like a first baseman. His hand's like a first baseman's glove. Yeah,
and he doesn't always catch the ball as smoothly as that, which people kind of when you say that, it's what do you mean? It's well, I mean, he's great, obviously, when he catches the football, but sometimes he'll drop a couple.
He's not a natural pass catcher like Will Shipley is.
Mm-hmm. And that's not a bad, that's not a knock. Darren Sproles wasn't all the time either.
No, he was not.
He had to work at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shipley's a little more natural. And Shipley had some nice catches today.
He did. That was
He had that Texas route for a touchdown. And then he caught one on the sideline with Campbell. I thought had great coverage. I don't know how Shipley kept his feet in bounds on that left sideline, but that was a really nice grab.
It was good coverage.
Let's talk about the play of the day.
Which one?
Elijah Cooks.
Oh, yeah.
Man, he's the training camp darling, I think. I think he's the guy that when we get to late August, we're going, man, this guy's not going to make it through waivers.
He will, first of all, but I still maintain that you can't have a training camp darling without practice being open to all fans, all people.
So they stopped in 2012?
Yeah, that was the last training camp darling, is 2012. Because
I think I coined that term. I don't know if we can predate it like that.
I think there's always been training camp darlings.
Okay.
I don't believe in pride of authorship, as Richie the K said.
No, but I'm saying if it was used before me, that's fine. But if not, then it couldn't have possibly only been in 2012 and earlier.
Well, I mean,
the spirit of it.
Yeah, Nate Brown was a training camp darling.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Scott training. I'm trying to think the earliest training.
So Paul Turner isn't. You're telling me Paul Turner?
Billy Hess was the original training.
Paul
camp.
Turner doesn't qualify.
He was more like a Bengals darling. Like he had that big game. Was he? Was he that good in training camp?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember that far back. But anyway,
2016.
I just think that, and I'm a man of the people. I think I just wish there was a way training camp could be open to everybody. When they first moved to the NovaCare, they had plans to do 2 open practices. Like one was going to be like at Rowan University, and one was going to be back at Lehigh. It was just logistically too difficult to move the entire operation and training and all that stuff. It would have been great to do that. But anyway, we're off topic, and that's my fault. But Elijah Cooks has great size. What is he, 6'4"?
6'4", 215. The play today, just a beautiful pass from Tanner McKee to the back of the end zone. Cooks, we were standing next to each other when he made this play. It was late in practice, but he somehow, I guess, got his feet in. They rolled to the touchdown. It was spectacular.
Yeah.
Kind of like contorted his body while getting his feet down as his momentum was taking him out of bounds.
His feet were not in bounds. I mean, it was like, I don't want to be a spoiler here of the play of the day, but I mean, I think we both kind of agreed.
I never saw his feet. I like the way it looked to me, because there were like bodies in front of it. The way it looked to me, like his momentum was taking him out. So if he really did get his feet down, it had to be spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the ref was right on it.
He was right there, but I mean, he would have had to been like this, like to get to get his feet in. But maybe he did. Maybe he did. But just to catch that, to have the concentration and focus to catch that ball, and and then try to get your feet, apparently get your feet down. It was impressive stuff.
Yeah, and he's made some plays already, and kind of the spectacular catches.
Yeah, that stuff will get coaches' attention.
Mm-hmm.
That'll, yeah.
And we've talked about that receiver battle, like for one of those last 2, maybe 3 spots. It's pretty up in the air right now.
Yeah, and Cooks has something that, I mean, obviously Johnny Walker. Who wrote that? Somebody called him Johnny Walker in print.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not going to.
Maybe they had a little bit.
I'm not going to say any names, but those are the plays that those young kids have to make, and so see Elijah Cooks do it. It's big. It's big for him. He's got to do that to even have a chance. Yeah.
If you're like, who the heck are you guys talking about? Went undrafted out of San Jose State few years ago, was with the Jaguars, played in 11 games. He has 3 catches for 38 yards in his career.
Yeah. I guess he would have played for Doug Peterson his first year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When Doug was checked out. The Eagles didn't do offensive line, defensive line one-on-ones today because they didn't do 7-on-7s either. That's an important part of this practice. It was a lot of team 11-on-11s today. So I didn't go over to watch the offensive line, defensive line 2-on-2s because sometimes that's hard to like parse what's what because they're running stunts and everything. So I watched the receivers and DBs today. I think the highlight there for me was probably Anais Smith getting free on Cooper Jean again twice. This is now 4 for 4. Anais Smith against Cooper Jean, shaking him free, which we've talked about this. It's slanted for the receiver, but it's still impressive to to get loose on maybe the best slot corner in the NFL.
Yeah, and the next step for him is to do that in team, and he's got to do that. But there's something there, and he does look a lot more comfortable than this time last year, certainly, which is a low bar because he was really struggling. He couldn't catch anything early in camp last year, most of camp. So it's encouraging, but yeah, he's got to carry that over to the team stuff. Especially with Devontae out, he's going to get some opportunities.
Yeah, he's been working. I'd say he's getting the most extra first team reps of anyone.
Yes.
2 safeties forced fumbles today.
Okay, yeah.
Tristan McCollum in the middle of the field. It was probably the hardest hit of the day. Darius Cooper coming across the
Sorry.
Didn't expect that. Just lowered the shoulder on him. It was a clean hit. Wasn't a blindside either. Just it was a good hard hit and ball just popped free.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good play.
And then the other one was Reed Blankenship along the left sideline. Just peanut punched the heck out of the ball out of A.J. Dillon's hands. It was on the sideline, so it went out of bounds anyway, but it didn't stop Reed from hitting a nice flex after that.
Yeah, Reed was really happy. Like, it's not the defense's ball.
Yeah, but you got the ball free, and that's the goal. And it was a real punch.
It was.
Like, you think of a peanut punch being – it's always cool, too, by the way, that's just called a peanut punch for Peanut Tillman, but who's now an FBI agent. You know that?
Is that right?
Yeah. Really intelligent dude and has a big career after football, but it was a good play by Reed, and it was clear that, like, there's been an emphasis on those defensive backs getting the ball out.
Yeah. Always is around here.
Just a couple little odds and ends here. Keely Ringo made a really nice play as a tackler, kind of fought through a screen or a pick from Harrison Bryant to make a play, which is a really tough play for a boundary corner to make. But Keely obviously has the size, and he got his shoulder a little low to get around him. That was a nice play. We mentioned Will Shipley. Montreal Johnson, the rookie running back from Florida, kid has some juice.
He's got a little something, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He was really productive college player. Somebody to keep your eye. He'll probably look good in the preseason games.
I think so. He could flash a little bit.
Yeah.
So right now, Elijah Cooks is the front runner for training camp darling, but Montreal Johnson has a chance.
Yeah, I think so.
Rough day for Adoree Jackson. Gave up some plays.
We just started talking him up yesterday.
Yeah, got called for a DPI. And then, man, did you see him get run over in the end zone?
Yeah.
He got trucked by
steamrolled
Johnny Wilson, and he got up, but he was letting the ref hear it. He's like, "You're going to call all that BS on me and not call that?" He was not happy.
No, he wasn't.
Looked like he got hurt a little bit, too.
Oh, yeah.
On that, but he stayed in.
Yeah, I thought it was a good day for Keely and maybe close the gap a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. That's kind of all I really wanted to get to today. Anything I missed?
You didn't share your stupid observation.
Oh, yeah, okay. It was that Cam Jurgens has been rocking the belly out look in camp, kind of a crop top look, which is, like Jason Kelsey staple. So
it was.
He even looks like Kelsey.
Kind of.
A little bit.
Yeah.
At least that part of it. That's all.
It's good
Anything
stuff.
else that you saw out there today?
Dorian Thompson-Robinson continues to come out of nowhere and look like a quarterback.
Yeah, I think we called that competition a little too early in the spring.
Yeah, I think he's had a couple good days. Made some good throws today.
He's made back-to-back days. He's made tight red zone, just like really firing the ball in there for a touchdown throws.
Yeah. Yeah, something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I'm a little fascinated by that because what if he really just like clearly outplays Kyle McCord? What do they do? That's not a good situation. You don't want to have to carry 4 quarterbacks or expose the rookie quarterback that you just drafted to waivers.
Yeah, probably get him through to the practice squad, but you might lose him.
And at that, that's the one position where I think you do have to be worried about it.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and I don't think he's been bad.
No.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. I want to talk about Vic Fangio when we come back on the other side.
You deserve a car that thrills you, a car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, we've got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself and shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
Eagles fans, be a part of the Birds takeover in Kansas City with NBC Sports Philadelphia and Philly sports trips. Includes optional airfare, hotel, and an exclusive pep rally, all-inclusive tailgate, ticket to the game, and more. Book your Eagles ultimate fan experience today. Rube, so Vic Fangio gets up at the microphone today, and there's a present waiting for him.
There was. That was weird. All of a sudden, he just looked down and held up a Richie Allen, Dick Allen.
He calls him Richie, he says.
Okay.
I guess he became Dick Allen after Vic was a fan of his younger days. Is that how you understand it?
I guess, yeah. I once, my mom's from Cleveland, and my uncle took my brother and me to an Indians White Sox game when the White Sox had like Bill Melton and Dick Allen, Carlos May. They had that pitching staff with like Wilbur Wood and Stan Bonson, both won 20 games. They had a really good team. And and I got to see Dick Allen. He went 4 for 4 with 4 singles. I'll never forget that. It was pretty cool.
Is that like, what's your favorite baseball memory that you've seen in person?
Oh, saw Tom Seaver go 8 1/3 no hit on the 4th of July against. Gosh, it was broken up by Leron Lee of the Padres. So he went 8 1/3 against the Padres. And it was first game of a doubleheader.
No, I've never seen a no-hitter.
In person?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
At any level.
Really?
Never seen one.
I saw a kid from Bucks County College throw one.
Really?
Yeah, it's like riding my bicycle by the school and just stopped and watched the baseball game. The kid, he ended up getting drafted. I don't know what happened to him, but I don't think they have a baseball team anymore. But yeah, I once covered a softball tournament game, and like, there's no official score at a high school softball game. And the girl had a no-hitter going, and then somebody hit like a really tough, like down the third base line, and the girl like scooped it up and then made a low throw, and they called it an error. And like the kid, the batter had it beat. Like the batter, even a perfect throw. So like the official score said it was a is
it like the home score, I guess?
Yeah. And so, but I'm like, that's wrong. Like,
yeah.
I didn't know. I don't know. I wrote around it.
You wrote around a no-hitter?
I called out sick. I didn't, but yeah, anyway, you never saw no-hitter at any level, huh?
No. The best game I ever saw pitch, it was Mark Pryor with the Cubs when he was like incredible. He had that little stretch. Gosh, he struck out like 16. It was something crazy, and that was fun to watch.
I once saw Nolan Ryan strike out 16 Phillies.
Really?
At the Vet, and like with 1 out in the 8th, he loaded the bases, and I guess he was with the Astros at the time. And Schmidt comes up and hits a grand slam, and the Phillies won. And then they took Ryan out of the game. He struck out like 16, and then gave up a grand slam.
All right, Vic was happy about this aside, but I don't know if
Vic would love
everyone
this
else
conversation.
Yeah, Vic would love it. I think he wanted to talk baseball today, but we did get him to talk about plenty of football. Give me one thing that you took away from Vic today.
All our defensive coordinator, like Jim Schwartz, loved talking baseball.
That's true.
Big Orioles guy.
Sean Desai.
Emmett Thomas was a huge Seattle Pilots fan. Takeaways from Vic. Vic's a trip. I love Vic, and I love listening to him, but like, he will not. It's really rare for him to say somebody looks good. Like, he was like, we'll see. Let's see. I mean, my favorite Vic thing was after his presser, I asked about Eric Allen, who he missed with the Saints by 1 year, but saw him play for years and just spoke really highly of him. Eric's going in the Hall of Fame this weekend. But I don't know. What stuck out for you?
A few things. One of them was I asked him how much he weighs one-on-ones in his evaluation. He's like, not much.
That was interesting.
Yeah, not much.
Or said not at all. Or
not much at all. Or and the more you think about it, like, I think in general, a coordinator is more looking at the full picture of a defense. I'd imagine, if you're Clint Hurd or Bobby King or like any of those guys working on the the daily technique, they probably care more
I would think
about
so.
the one-on-ones than Vic, but I found that interesting.
That was interesting. I also like when he was asked, he came out with a hoodie on and he was asked about the heat and he said, "This isn't hot." And his point was, we're going to play games in September. It's going to be really hot and you have to, I mean, I think that they've been really big on conditioning and you have to be really in great shape to play in those kind of games. And you have to practice in that to get used to it and to be able to play like that in the game. So,
Do you remember the Doug Peterson thing about heat?
no,
I think it was back in 2017. It was early in training camp. It was a hot day, and he was asking about preparing in the heat and all this stuff. And he goes, "Well, we're in Kansas City in week. I think it was 2 or 3, whatever it was. And when we're in Kansas City in week 2, it's going to be 90 degrees, and we're going to have to be ready for it." We're like, that was oddly specific. And then when we got to that game, it was hot as hell in Kansas City. And we're like, I guess Doug knew what he was talking about.
Yeah. What a thing, Doug Peterson.
I have some other quick notes from Vic. You're right. He doesn't love to overly praise players, but I thought he gave some subtle praise to Mac McWilliams.
Yeah.
The rookie corner, just talked about his instincts, and Vic's big on instincts, and those can get better, obviously, but sometimes it's like you have it or you don't. And I think he likes the savvy McWilliams has.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And he's already putting him in a bunch of different spots. I think the actions match that. He's a rookie who's playing outside corner, inside corner. He gets to play up in the dime package. He's doing a bunch of different things.
Yeah, he's an interesting player. I think he's had a good camp.
He's someone where, in the back of my mind, what if he comes on really strong? Then all of a sudden, you have some other options. I don't want to go through that door yet, but it's in the back of my mind.
So you're saying if neither Keeley or Dory Jackson really shines, and that's move Cooper to Gene to outside corner.
I was more thinking about safety at first, but either one of those, if you have a better nickel corner option than you do outside corner or safety, and you're really confident Cooper can play pretty much wherever you want him to.
Right.
Now, you would have to be really confident in that you wouldn't Cooper was incredible last year. And I think I'd be really careful if you're going to move him, but it's an option or it could become an option.
I think it's something we might not see until into the seat. If things aren't.
Yeah. And I don't think it's near the most attractive option. The most attractive option is you keep Cooper DeJean where he was fantastic last year.
And Keeley or Adoree just really slam dunk wins that job.
Or Makuba or Cindy Brown.
Right.
Yeah. He talked about Jordan Davis losing.
That was a great quote.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say? When you lose weight, a whole new world opens up for you. Talking about him as a
pass rusher, yeah. Because we actually talked about this. That it's very clear that Jordan Davis losing weight will open the door for him to be on the field for more snaps. He's going to be in better condition. He's going to not get as tired. But we were wondering, is it actually going to help him as a pass rusher? And Vic brought up a good point that, when you're tired, you tend to lose your leverage more. And if you're less tired, presumably you're going to keep your knees bent. He said sometimes you need to be 6'2".
That was a great quote.
Yeah, and Jordan's not. He's 6'6". So you got to be able to bend your knees and get low and get leverage. And he thinks that's going to be an easier task with Jordan being a little on the lighter side.
Yeah, and we talked about that last week after we talked to Jordan, and he certainly believes that losing that weight will help him get to the quarterback and just give him more of a just palette of things he can do. So in theory, it's great. We'll see if it works.
The last note I had was he was asked about Quinyon Mitchell's ball skills and how much they can improve. And he said it's incremental, how much ball skills can improve. A lot of guys either have it or they don't. And honestly, if you're a defensive back, you probably don't have it because otherwise you'd be a receiver. But he said, Quinyon, very clear that this was high praise. Actually, he's like, if you can get better at it, he's going to get better at it.
Yeah, that's
high praise for a second-year player. Yeah, and his work ethic.
He said, if there's anything he can get better at, he will get better at it.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty high praise. Which most of Vic is faint praise, but I thought that was pretty outward.
Yeah,
and he even said the interception Q had on that underthrown ball on day 4 of training camp. He said, I don't know if he has that last year.
Yeah. So I don't think he makes that play last year. He's been the best player on the team. Quinyon Mitchell. I feel comfortable saying he's been their best player.
I don't know if I can give that to you.
Okay.
Because I think the guy he faces every day is probably better and has been better. But yeah, he's been fantastic.
Okay.
Right now, if I had to say who's been the best player of camp, is probably AJ Brown.
And it's funny because they
and it's fantastic work.
Yeah. And those reps when they face each other, they're just so much fun to watch.
It's even fun to watch Q in just individual drills, like they're running like deep defensive back drills today, and you're watching everyone else just labor to get to the spot on the field, and it looks like he doesn't even break a sweat. Yeah. It's just so smooth and fluid, just like these beautiful. It's like he's floating across the field. He's so fast, but he doesn't look like he's running fast. If that makes sense.
Yeah, effortless.
It's right.
Yeah,
it's super effortless. It's fun to watch. I think that's all I had from Vic.
Okay.
Both of you and I were not able to make it to the Jeff Stoutland availability, so we'll have to go through that because Stout's obviously the best, and he got given the Dr. Z Lifetime Achievement Award for an assistant coach, handed out by the PFWA. Our chapter president Zach Berman gave him the plaque today. That was a really cool moment, and he gave like an impromptu speech about like how much it means to him, but he knows it's not about him, and he had a nice part about like appreciating the media here and how tough it is. He's like, that's what we want. I thought it was a cool moment.
Yeah. And did you know Dr. Z at all?
I didn't.
Paul Zimmerman worked for Sports Illustrated forever, and when I was Peter King's stringer, I would work with Dr. Z, who was the most unique person I've ever known, and he kept preseason stats before there was like an NFL Jesus or anything like that, or Stathead. And he would call me like at 7 a.m, the morning after a preseason game. And he'd be like, yeah, I need the Eagles rushing stats from last night. You know, I'm like, all right, James Joseph was 6 for 9, you know, but he kept preseason stats. He would time the national anthem at every game he was at, so he could rank like the slowest and the longest at the end of the year. He was a neat guy, knew more about the game and the history of the game than anyone I've ever known. I've just felt so lucky to get to work with him a little bit back in that era. And he was just an all-timer, one of those. I like to think there's a little Dr. Z in the way I cover the team, and just when minutia means everything, you know.
That might have a little bit in me too.
Just
if it's about minutia,
just like, just the details of the game that really bring it to life.
But so that was a cool moment. Anything else from after practice availability strike you?
Good chat with Tanner McKee about just how far he's come. He's number 2 now for the first time, and I asked him what's different for him, and he said, about with his relationship with Jalen, and he said, when I got here, it was Jalen would, I would ask Jalen this and ask him this and help me with this, and he says now like we kind of help each other. Mm-hmm. And I asked Jalen about that, and he said, yeah, I mean, Tanner is a guy that I go to and I learn from and I ask questions of, and this is a kid who started one game in his career, 6th-round pick. Obviously the Eagles trust him, moving on from Kenny Pickett, and making him number 2. Played great in that Dallas game and the Giants game when he had to. It's kind of a big underrated change to have. They've always had kind of a veteran. I mean, Pickett was a young guy, but he had started a bunch of games. Obviously Mariota is an experienced guy. But
yeah, you're right. Like Minshew too had more experience.
Yeah, Flacco, all those guys. He ended up never playing here, but
but to entrust
a
young player to be that backup.
Yeah. So, and based on Jalen's first few years, Tanner McKee will probably start a couple games, and they just have a lot of faith in him. He's come a long way, and I think he's had a good first week, and just the faith that Jalen has in him is really interesting.
Yeah. How about Ty Robinson? You were there for that.
Yeah. Confident kid. He just kind of, You know, you can tell he's older and he's more experienced. He kind of really handles himself like a veteran. Just talking to him, feels really comfortable. He's they're throwing a lot at him, and he's seems to be doing well with it. Um, I don't know if he's flashed a ton on the field, but
Here and there.
he feels like he's getting better and he's comfortable and he's going to have a role. And I think he understands that, and he's really taken this seriously, knowing that if he does his job, he'll play. So that was, he's an impressive kid.
I had fun asking Mac.
He's huge.
Oh, he's enormous.
He's huge.
Yeah. The Manila Gorilla. I had fun asking Mac McWilliams about facing off against Johnny Wilson, just like what you have to do when you're at that big of a size disadvantage, because he had that great rep on day 4.
And he talked about that,
Mhm.
actually. Yeah. That rep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I missed, I guess, the beginning of him.
Yeah. I mean, he just said, when a guy's got that kind of height advantage, you got to be really, really technically sound. And he was. Said he's really comfortable in the slot. He's picked Cooper's brain about it, and say he's comfortable wherever they put him.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah.
It's funny, of all the draft picks, he wasn't one like super on my radar coming in, but he's on my radar now.
They have so many young defensive backs, 21, 22, 23. I mean, it's who have either are playing already or are just really promising.
Mm-hmm. Talked to Will Shipley a little bit. Saquon had said earlier that Shipley is the smartest running back in the room, and Will hadn't heard that until it got brought up to him. So he got a little kick out of that. But yeah, I think he is a smart player, and he's a different body type too than Saquon and AJ Dillon. That's the way I worded it to him. But he said like that does kind of help him carve out a different role perhaps than those guys.
Yeah. I think he could have a role as a third down back, pass catching back. He's got we talked about it earlier, just natural soft hands. The ball just kind of settles into his hands when he's throwing. He doesn't fight it. It's a good skill to have.
All right, let's take.
Was he asked about his college teammate beating up on him?
I wanted to get it in and I didn't. Yeah. So ran out of time.
All right.
I want to take a break. And I'm going to get questions in at the end. So let's take a break and come back with a few questions. Mark your calendars. We're headed down the shore for a Phillies watch party. Join us in Sea Isle on August 12th to watch the Phillies face the Reds with raffles, special guests, and more. All right, it's mailbag time. Eagle-eyed NBCUni.com. The QR code is on the screen. First one is from Herb. Hey, everyone, I just want to clarify something. It's not true that iron sharpens iron. It's actually stone that sharpens iron. Knives are sharpened using whetstones or grindstones. I genuinely hope this doesn't cost Nick Sirianni his job.
Very well may.
Next one from Scott. Any sighting of Lewis seen? I hoped he would develop into something, but no one has mentioned him, so I guess not.
Lewis has not been seen.
Not bad.
I think he was in your stock down, I believe.
He was, and it wasn't necessarily that he's had bad plays, but it feels like everyone else is getting some first team reps other than him and the undrafted rookie Maxon Hook at safety. So yeah, you bring in a guy late in the season like that who has a first round pedigree and you're hoping maybe you're able to bring that out of him. He's not that player.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah. And who knows, like maybe he'll get better, but so far you just haven't seen it with him. And that was not a joke. Didn't mean to make that pun. But it's like, have you noticed any plays?
No.
Yeah. And he's like consistently been with the third team defense.
Yeah. And I thought when they brought him in at the end of last year, it was look, you have him for the off season, you get him comfortable here. He gets to learn Vic's defense. He comes out in training camp and just has that big advantage of having the whole off season here, but it just hasn't manifested itself.
And it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
You don't lose anything really. You brought him in, you gave it a go.
Didn't cost anything.
Yeah. So like I like the attempt. It's trying to win on the margins, but a lot of those moves that you make to try to win on the margins don't end up panning out. And at least early, it looks like this is one of those.
First round pick a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's just, man, that leg injury.
Yeah.
It's just, you feel for him because you wonder what would have been had he not suffered that really serious injury early in his career.
Yeah, with the Vikings.
All right, next one from Brandon. Hello, Dave and Rube. I was fortunate enough to attend the military appreciation practice and meet Braden Mann, awesome guy, who was badly injured in high school and forced to switch from linebacker to kicker/punter. Everyone has heard about Mailata, Brandon Brooks, Isaiah Rogers, Jason Kelsey, and their stories of untraditional pathways/adversity to and in the NFL. My question for you is, what's your favorite little-known story about players, past or present, overcoming insurmountable odds?
That's something I would need some time to think
So
about
I
that.
thought of one that you could give. I've always loved this story that you wrote a long time ago about Jason Avant, because he was someone who had been around the team for a long time, and none of us really knew his background. He grew up in Chicago and some really rough conditions.
Yeah, he was selling drugs when he was 12 years old.
Yeah. So, I mean, and to come from that and to not just be a great player, but like a stand-up guy, like pillar of the locker room when he played here, pillar of the community after he's done playing, heck of a teammate for us when he's on air with us. But like,
And we saw him going to dunk tank
yeah,
open practice
a couple years ago. Yeah, that story to me always.
Yeah.
And I love like that. It was a great story because it was pretty deep into his career, and like I don't think any of us really knew about everything that he had to overcome.
I didn't, certainly. I had no idea what he was about to tell me. I do wonder if we should have hired him here with his past. No, he's one of the best guys. And yeah, I'm sure you can find that story if you just search for my name and Jason Avant and South Side of Chicago and drugs. It'll pop up.
Yeah, be careful searching drugs on your work computers.
That's right, true.
All right. Do a couple more.
I'm going to think of one of those though.
Yeah, and those are like, that's why we got into the business. It's like telling stories and finding out about people as much as the football X's and O's and talking about the games.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of them, but that one to me always stood out. Next one is from Scoots, who mentions Scoots is my call name. So yes, Rube, you'll be safe in my bird. He's the pilot. Scoots.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Who you said he wouldn't get in a plane with a guy named Scoots.
Say
That's his call sign. He asks, can you further explain the NFI list, please? An ESPN article I found didn't explain it very well. What's the difference between PUP and NFI? Does it carry over into the regular season? And if so, do they count as a roster spot? Want me to handle this?
Yeah,
one?
you can handle it. You're the housekeeping guy.
Yeah. So PUP and NFI act the same way. PUP is for an injury that happens in the NFL, and the NFI is a non-football injury, which basically means it didn't happen in the NFL. So if you're a college player who got hurt in your, say, senior season and you're coming in the NFL, you go on the NFI. Or if you crash your jet ski, like that's also an NFI, right? Like if you get hurt in a car crash, whatever it is, like a non-football thing, that's the NFI. They operate the same way. So there's the active PUP or active NFI, and that's for training camp, and you count toward the 90-man roster, but you can't practice, and you can be removed from that at any time. But in order to be on the reserve NFI or the reserve PUP, you need to have been on the active. So it's a prerequisite to being on the reserve list. And once you get on the reserve PUP or NFI, you have to miss 4 games of the regular season, and then you do not count toward the roster.
Something like that. No, that was well explained in great detail.
Sorry.
Great detail.
We'll finish this up with John. Thinking back to 2 years ago and the drop-off we saw from James Bradbury after a Pro Bowl year, who do you think the Eagles' most damaging drop-off would be?
What a positive question. The most, I mean, it can happen to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
They have there's a lot of stars. I mean, usually it's a guy who's, like mid-30s, and I mean, like Dallas Goedert, it wouldn't shock me. I don't expect it, but he's a guy you could see. He's well into his career.
The most damaging one's Lane.
Most damaging, yeah. But I guess I'm thinking more like most likely, or like who would I not be shocked? Lane is Superman. He's not gonna. I just don't see that. I guess it would be most damaging. So if you want to answer the question literally the way it was asked,
When I actually answer the question.
but I'm just thinking like, and like who's most likely? Like anytime a running back has 2,000 yards, I mean, I don't expect that to happen with Saquon. But
It was very funny today. Will Shipley was like, "Man, I've never seen a guy with 400 touches come back and look like this." I was like, "Will, have you ever seen a guy with 400 touches?"
almost 482. Right?
Yeah, it was almost 500.
Yeah. I have Saquon averaged 3.8 yards before contact last year, which was the stat has only kept that since 2018 or 2016, but it's the highest ever. With the Giants, he averaged 2.1 yards before contact.
Mhm.
That's what this O-line means to him. And I think that really gives him a chance to have another really big year, because if you're getting 4 yards before you get hit, you're going to get half a yard after you get hit, and there's your 4.5 per carry. So I really believe he has a chance to kind of, I mean, I don't think he's going to get 2,000 again, but I think he has a chance to have another really good year.
Okay.
I really do.
Did you
I
have
know
an
that
answer
wasn't-
for the question or no?
No.
Okay. Eagle-eye at NBCUni.com. If you want to send us one and hit that QR code, pause your screen right now if you're watching on YouTube. Otherwise, this is where I tell everyone to please rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, please click the like button and subscribe there as well. Eagles have a walkthrough on Wednesday, so no pod on Wednesday. Rube, you're not going to be here with us on the pod Thursday or Friday. You're going out to Canton for Eric Allen's induction. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, going to spend some time with Eric on Thursday, and then the enshrinement is Saturday afternoon. And it looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend weather-wise. So I know last year I think they had to move it indoors or something. Not a lot of Eagles have gone in the Hall of Fame. And the last few years have been good because Doc went in, then Harold went in. But before that, I think only 3 like Eagles who were here more than a few years, like not counting Richard Dent and T.O., but it was like 3 in the previous 47 years.
Wow.
So, and I think the next 10 years are going to be big for Eagle. Like, you're going to see, I mean, we don't know how long Lane's going to play, but JP, Kelsey, guys like that, it's going to be, I think they're both slam
Potentially
dunks.
Fletcher at some point.
Potentially Fletcher. They're all eligible for the first time in 29. So yeah, I love going out to the Hall of Fame and looking forward to it.
Hope you have a good time. Looking forward to hearing about your experience when you come back.
One other thing, and I know you didn't say, do you have anything else? But I had a quick chat with Connor Barwin today, and he just wanted to thank everybody who came out to the concert for his foundation.
Make the World Better Foundation.
Make the World Better. They had concerts there Friday and Sunday. I'm not sure the Diplo and the 10K were related to Connor's, but it was a big weekend of music down across the street at FDR Park. We raised a ton of money.
Which, by the way, FDR Park looks great.
It does.
I haven't been in there yet, but just the front of it,
Yeah.
the renovation looks fantastic.
I walked around there during the draft. Remember, we had like 3 hours between
Mhm.
draft picks. I went over there and walked around.
Was it
bit.
completed by then?
No, they were still working on it. But it's a nice park. It's really underutilized. You don't see a ton of people in there.
It needed a facelift.
Little sprucing up,
Yeah.
but there's some great little paths to walk on or go running, and there's a lot back there. It goes all the way to 95 back there, and yeah, and they have that museum in there.
I've never been.
Yeah, good place.
Maybe we'll do a field trip there.
We could do a pod from there.
From the Swedish Museum?
Yeah, from the Swedish Museum.
Not bad. All right. For Reuben Frank, I'm Dave Zangaro. This has been Eagle Eye, presented by Nissan. We'll talk to you soon.